If your grip is a weak point, it doesn't matter how powerful your legs are or how strong your back is, because at some point, your hands are going to be the thing that gives out. And that's the difference between getting stronger or dropping the bar halfway through the set. Grip strength is one of the most underrated pieces of performance in the gym. It impacts your ability to lift, pull, carry, climb, and control load. But a lot of people either ignore it or are tempted to place a band-aid over the problem. In this video, I'm going to break down 4 of my go-to moves for building real, usable grip strength. These moves aren't flashy or overly complicated. They're simple strategies to train your grip and develop stronger lifts. Let's get into it. My first move for developing better grip strength is to start using kettlebells more often. Alright, so there are a couple different reasons why we prefer the kettlebell over a dumbbell or a barbell in order to enhance your grip strength. Now, with the kettlebell handles, they're typically going to be thicker than your average dumbbell or barbell. And then beyond that, dumbbells and barbells have knurling. So all this like cross-hatched pattern here, that holds onto your skin and helps you to grip easier. But the kettlebell handle, what you'll notice is that it's super smooth. And because it's smooth, your musculature has to work that much harder in order to grip the barbell, in order to grip the kettlebell. Now, one simple fix that you can make with your current routine without disrupting too much is to actually swap out your dumbbell and barbell work for kettlebells. And so you can do lunges, you can do your bent over rows, you can do your single leg deadlifts, all while simply swapping out dumbbells and barbells and opting for a kettlebell. And so if you have access to kettlebells in your home gym or in your regular gym, we'd highly recommend swapping them out, and you'll notice a significant difference in your grip strength over time. And now my second sub-tip involving kettlebells is to start incorporating kettlebell ballistics into your training. So moves like single arm swings, single arm cleans, single arm snatches, or double variants of those moves really offer a unique benefit for your grip. So as you're coming down, let's say I'm coming down from my swing, the kettlebell is really pulling my grip apart, and I have to really anchor on and hang on really tight because it's pulling so much. And then as I come up, this is where I can actually relax my grip a little bit. The kettlebell pulls back into my palm a little bit more, and I'm able to relax. Now, with ballistic movements like swings and cleans and snatches, they're typically more of a higher rep scheme type of movement. And so throughout this move, I'm constantly relaxing, then contracting, relaxing, and then contracting. And I'm gonna get a very significant pump throughout my forearms, throughout my hands, in order to grip onto the kettlebell and do it effectively. And so unlike static exercises where you use a barbell or dumbbells and you're just doing a static gripping exercise and holding onto the weights, this one is a lot more dynamic. And as you're going back and forth, you're getting different areas, different angles of your forearms and your grip strength muscles getting affected and targeted throughout the entire set. And so at the end of your kettlebell session, you're gonna notice this 360-degree effect across your entire lower arm area where it just feels like incredibly pumped up. And over time, that's gonna lead to some significant gains in your grip strength. My second move is to start incorporating more double overhand grip work into your routine. All right, so way too often we see beginners utilizing a mixed grip for their barbell work. So let's say their deadlifts and their RDLs, and they go into a mixed grip situation way too early on, we feel like. What we recommend is using more of a double overhand grip like this. When you're in this position, your forearms, your grip muscles, they have to work that much harder in order to not let the bar slip out of your hands. But when you use a mixed grip, you bypass a lot of that. Because when you go underhand like this, you're able to get your hand more underneath and you're basically passively able to hold onto the bar easier. And you know, I would say that's fine, but ultimately you're not really doing much to enhance your grip strength. You're just using a passive leverage situation in order to hold on to more weight. What we'd highly recommend is utilizing a double overhand grip for as long as you can. And once you get to a point where you're strong enough where you're lifting more and more weight, we would say keep up with the double overhand as much as possible. Start using chalk. Put more chalk on so it's less likely to slip out of your hands. And eventually, once you get to a strength level where maybe you're doing heavy triples and heavy doubles and heavy singles, that's when maybe you want to start incorporating more of a mixed grip work and alternating every set. But starting off really early with mixed grip work, it can create imbalances, and you just want to make sure that your back and leg strength doesn't outpace your grip strength too quickly. And so by utilizing overhand grip and really staying consistent with that, your grip strength is going to rise at the same level with your back and leg strength. And then eventually, once you get to a point where you're strong enough, that's when you can utilize a mixed grip as an enhancer to your already strong grip rather than trying to cover up for it too early on in your training. And so our second tip is to start incorporating more double overhand grip into your barbell training, and that's going to pay dividends in the long run. Move number 3 is to incorporate more carries into your routine. All right, so I've got a few different carry variations that I want to show you, but we love carries because, first of all, they're super simple, they're very easy to teach, and there's not much learning that needs to be done. And then second, beyond that, not only are you improving your grip strength, but you're also improving a lot of different variables depending on how you carry the weight. And so let's say we're doing a farmer carry. So you're probably seen this before, but you're gonna hold on to 2 weights. And again, we like kettlebells because of the thicker handle and the smooth handle, right? And I also like to pair this with more of a thumbless grip. So you're here, and being thumbless challenges you to work your grip even harder as opposed to wrapping around with the thumb, all right? So I like thumbless here. Now, get up really tall, shoulders are pulled back, and all you're gonna do is just walk slowly, like this. You don't have to walk quickly, just walk slowly, and you're trying to stay as upright as you can. And now as you're walking, the weights are trying to pull you down like this, and you have to use your upper back, you have to use your core in order to get into more of an upright position. Now you may have seen strongmen or power lifters or CrossFitters doing farmer carries where they're here and they're basically running with the weight in order to get from point A to point B in some sort of competition. We're not really looking for that. All we're looking for is good alignment and good grip mechanics. So just move slowly at a normal pace, and that's gonna be totally fine. Now, you can also do it with one weight, so a suitcase carry. So here, I like to come down, and I like to imagine that there's a weight on the other side. I come down very even, I lift, stand up nice and tall, and then same thing. I'm just thinking about my alignment as I'm walking through this suitcase carry. And now all of a sudden, not only am I getting that upper back strength and my core strength, but I'm also getting obliques as well. Because the kettlebell here is really trying to pull me this way, I have to use my obliques to stay more square as I go through my suitcase carry. All right, and then my third variation, you're gonna use a lighter weight, and it's called a bottoms up carry. So I lift this up right here in this position. And then from here, same concept, staying upright as I walk slowly forward and slowly back. But as I'm doing this, what you'll notice is that I have to make a lot of micro adjustments with my grip, with my forearm strength, because the kettlebell is going all over the place. So I really have to tense and relax, and it has a very similar effect to those kettlebell ballistics I was talking about earlier. But what we really like is not necessarily going for as heavy as possible, but more going for longer duration holds. So maybe 3 sets of 40 to 60 seconds or so, where you're really creating a longer term effect, more time under tension, and that's why we really like carries for developing enhanced grip strength. Move number 4 is to incorporate more higher rep training into your routine. All right, now remember in move number 2, when I talked about double overhand grip training, I would say that beginner lifters often utilize an underhand or a mixed grip for their deadlifts or for their RDLs. And I remember doing that exact same thing as a beginner lifter because I got to a point where I could do 135 for deadlifts for, let's say, sets of 8. And I wanted to go heavier in weight and lower in repetitions because I saw a lot of people online deadlifting a ton of weight. So I really wanted to rush the weight process. And so I would do less reps and more weight. And inevitably, my grip started to give out. So like 185 pounds or so, the barbell started to give, and I would get so frustrated because I'd be like, my back and my legs can take so much more weight. It's just these stupid forearm and grip muscles that are giving out on me, and I would slap on a ton of chalk, and it just wouldn't work out. And so I'd end up doing a mixed grip, But what ended up happening is I would push the weight to, let's say, 205 or 225, and then my back would give out and I would strain something in my body. And basically, what I should have taken it as a sign of is that the weight was just too heavy for me at the time. And so instead of pushing the weight, going lower rep, I should have just incorporated more higher rep training into my routine. So instead of trying to jump to 185 for sets of 3, I could have gone to 145 and continued the sets of 8, or maybe drop down to sets of 6. But slowly and incrementally building up the time of their tension, building up that weight would have been a way better process for me rather than just trying to jump up weight for weight's sake. And so if you're early on in your process and you're doing deadlifts and RDLs or even dumbbell work, let's say you're doing lunges or bent over rows, things like that where you're still gripping onto you're using your grip strength, don't do heavy lifts, do higher repetition lifts because that's going to help you to build your grip strength over time and it's going to help you to keep pace with your back strength and your leg strength. And so my fourth tip, or my fourth move, I guess in this instance, is to make sure that you're not going too heavy too early or doing too low repetition training too early on in your progression, and that's gonna really help your grip strength. And there you have it, 4 grip-focused moves in order to build stronger hands, support heavier lifts, and eliminate grip as a weak link. Try adding a few of these into your routine, and you'll feel the difference the next time you train. If you're looking for workouts that combine strength, mobility, and athletic performance, check out our free guide, Sustainable Strength. It includes a sample week of workouts to help you train smarter. You can find the link in the description box below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below, subscribe for more content just like this, and let us know in the comment section down below what you'd like to see from us in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.